I'm poet and writer Kaye Spivey. So 2019 is finally coming to a close. What a trash fire year this has been. I just wanted to sit down today, talk about some recent good things and bad things, and kind of go into what I'm planning to do in 2020. I'm going to do a little bit of reviewing things. I'm going to review the fact that I decided to put on lipstick and then have a video where I drank out of a white cup. That was a terrible idea. I finally read Again But Better. Now, I do not watch Christine's channel. I never really have. I don't know. Of all the booktubers, it was like her energy was not my energy, so it's like I did not go into this because I was a fan of hers. Like, I'm aware of who she is. I watched her video talking about this, and the reason that I got it is because I watched that video where she talks about this book of hers, Again But Better. She talked about how it's about studying abroad in England and kind of reinventing yourself, finding yourself again, and I was like, yes, that sounds like what I'm into. I'm gonna say I gave this a very generous 4 stars on Goodreads because I understood the appeal of it, I think. Basically, I didn't like the book. By the end, I did. I was into it in like the last 70 pages, which in a book that's almost 400 pages long, I don't think everyone's gonna be as generous as I was. Let's just say it's not about studying abroad in England. Like, there was just nothing that was reminiscent of that at all for me, like to an extreme point. It was actually so bad. This was an adventure in telling versus showing, and I learned the difference because of this book. This was a telling book, and it needed a little more showing. All of the problems that the main character got herself into kind of felt like, you did this to yourself. You could have avoided this by XYZ. The book also changes genre. There are minuscule hints about what's going to happen. And at page 200, the book changes genre. We have a time, we go back in time. It becomes a time travel book. I don't know, I felt like maybe this was all published a little quick. There were a lot of things where my first thought going back in time, I was like, oh, we're gonna have to do the same thing over again. And a lot of it I found I didn't care. I found that if I had gotten a mesh of the before and the after rather than reading all of the before and then all of the after, I would have liked it more. I mean, in the end, I ended up enjoying the book. It was good, and it's a cute, very fast read. I mean, it's cutesy. It is new adult. There's one very steamy little bit in there towards the end. It wasn't what I wanted. But what it did do for me is, as I was reading the first 200 pages and so frustrated with it not being the book that I signed up for, I realized that's not necessarily the fault of the book. What I wanted to read about was like a fictionalized version of my study abroad experience. So I'm gonna write that. In 2020, I'm going to write about my experience studying abroad at Lancaster University in England. I spent 1 semester there, my senior year, and I kept pretty extensive journals. I kept like a private journal, and then I posted long journal pages of everywhere that I went so my parents would be able to kind of experience it with me. So I already have all the groundwork. I have a few ideas of things I could fictionalize. I could create a romance for myself while I'm over there, that kind of thing. I can kind of spice up the me of the past and make me a little more interesting. But there were a lot of like very specific sounds and smells and touches and textures and things that are so vivid to me still, that I would love to bring for other people to also experience and enjoy, and experience like the exact way that I experienced my study abroad, because it was a little bit of a traumatic time in some ways, and in some ways it was the most incredible journey of my entire life. So I really want to bring you guys along with that, and I'm going to work on that book in the next year, because I feel like if I was that disappointed with this just not being my experience, then my experience needs to come and be something that's out there, you know? Like, I read the whole book because I realized I needed to give it that full chance in order to put in my best effort writing the book that I was actually hoping to read while I was reading this. That was my thoughts on this. I immediately went on and started reading Brightly Burning by Alexa Dunn, which I'm not that far into as of right now. This is my like reading into the new year book. This is so much better written than that one. Just on a straight up writing level, this is much better written. And I think I thought it was going to be very sci-fi-y. I don't know, I don't tend to pick up sci-fi, but this was sci-fi in a way that was still on the like level that I like. I'm enjoying it very much so far. I'm what, like 2 chapters in? That's not very much, so I'm not gonna just even say anything about it, but I always knew I was going to enjoy this book, and I've had it sitting on my shelf, but luckily I have started it. I'm gonna finish it before The Stars We Steal comes out, and I will give a full review and everything like that, because I feel like Alexa deserves it. She has such a great channel. If you haven't followed Alexa Dunn and you're in the writing community, like, go on over. She has such great advice for people who want to be traditionally published, which I still do. In this past year, I didn't really keep most of my resolutions. This was not a good year. A lot of things kind of derailed. The one thing that I managed to do that was my big thing was I revised Circuit again in a way that felt very concrete, very good. I still feel iffy about my first page just because obviously I'm not getting the responses back that I want, so I want to go dive back into that. But I felt so good about the revision that I did this last year, and I felt great about the queries that I sent out. I just need to probably tackle those a little bit firmer again, or research harder into which agents to look into, because I sent out to, I think in the end, about 20 this year, and they were all 20 that I felt really strongly about, but maybe they weren't the best representation for my genre also. Like, I'm gonna keep going. Circuit's not dead, but I'm moving on to this book and to the paranormal romance that I wrote over NaNoWriMo. I really want to make sure that I revise that this year and turn that into a really fun story, because I had a lot of fun with it. It was very Christmassy too, so maybe I'll try and have it finished by next Christmas and do a little round of queries with that. That might be a lot of fun. Oh, other things I want to do. I do want to try doing Pitch Madness for Circuit. I think it's time. I feel like that's the next push it needs, is to try and do that. So I'm going to work on a really good little pitch for that. Other things, some of these are like personal goals. Like, I gotta get my passport changed to my new last name. Gotta get on that. I do want to read a book every month. I did read a book every month this year. I just reread most of the Mortal Instruments series, so it doesn't show up on my Goodreads, which, you know, is disappointing. But I read some really great poetry books this year. I'm going to continue reading more poetry books. I read a couple poetry books that were sent to me by other people, and some of them I really liked and some of them didn't gel with me. It's one of those things where, like, I like reading other people's work. If I didn't just gush about your writing and you sent it to me or I read it this year, like, that's nothing against you as a person. You're a great person. It just maybe wasn't work that just gelled with me, or it just might not have been my favorite thing, or I might have been in a really bad place at the time that I read it. Like, it's nothing against you if I didn't, like, do a gushing review of your work, because I know I did for some people, and so don't, like, feel left out. I'm always happy to, like, get people sending me their poetry books to read. I just don't put any pressure on me to read them, thanks, because nothing's gonna make me dislike your poetry more than you putting pressure on me, because you don't know what's going on in my life, and when I'm ready to read things, I read them. Like, I'm finally reading Brightly Burning. I just need to get around to things in my own time. I do want to read more poetry books and review more poetry, because I think that there's not nearly enough of that. So let's spread some more poetry love in the next year. I'm gonna keep sending out poetry. I'm obviously gonna keep writing poetry. There's never gonna be a time in my life where, like, poetry is on hold or anything. Like, if I'm not writing, I'm not writing. But I'll be writing at some point. It's not a problem. I'm gonna try and send out to more literary journals. I'm really gonna try and get that poetry book that I was hoping to get done this year, but instead I focused on the reworking for Fragments, which I'm really proud of now. Proud that I did that this year rather than, you know, try and push out a whole new set of work, which I don't think I was up for. I'm also gonna stop eating meat. I've been pretty lax about, I was doing really good, like, through the summer and through the beginning of the year, and I've been kind of lax about it at the end of the year. I've been eating a lot more meat, and, like, I have to stop eating dairy. Dairy's so good, but I get very sick when I eat dairy, like, very, very sick, and I have to stop doing that to myself. So dairy has got to go. And meat, I'm just gonna really try and phase that out, because I just feel like all the upsides are just too up for me, basically. Like, all the downsides of eating meat are really downsides. All the upsides are, like, good things. So I'm gonna try and just cut it out and not really eat meat this next year, which I'm not gonna go into more. I feel like your eating preferences are really, like, your own thing, and, like, if I gotta pick the mushrooms off my pizza, I'll pick the mushrooms off my pizza, but I'm not gonna throw a fit and ask you to order me a new pizza. You know, like, that kind of thing. And I want to send out another short story. I got a short story published this year, which was like, So exciting. If you haven't read it yet, I think you can still read it over on Ether and Icker. I know that I've linked it through my website, but I'll try and link it down below as well if it's still up for reading, because that was so exciting that they published my short story that I've been working on for so long. So that was really cool. Yeah, and I'm gonna try and make weekly blog posts over on my blog. I've been having a lot more fun with that. I think I felt like there was a little too much pressure, but what I like writing is kind of subversive things. I wrote a pretty subversive one that like nobody really liked, but you know what? I liked it, and isn't that what matters? I feel like I don't want my blog to be something pressure, like I don't want to have the pressure of writing a blog. I want to write what I want to write about in the best writing that I can, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Like I'd love to get more engagement on it, and I'd love to have it like more like so you know like, oh, it's writing content. But it's not gonna be. It's gonna be the things that I want to talk about, and so like if you want to get to know me more, here is my blog. You know, I feel like that's more fun for me. That is everything I wanted to talk about today. I hope you're having a great New Year's Eve, because this video is gonna be going up. Oh, it's gonna be going up on New Year's. I think I'm also going to vlog New Year's Eve. No, New Year's Day, because I have the whole day off. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do a vlog of my first day of the year. I also have a party to go to on New Year's Eve, a 20s themed party. So I have a dress, we'll see how it goes. It should be fun. I hope your 2019 has ended successfully with you feeling a sense of relief that it's over, ready to move into 2020 with all your writing goals. I don't know for sure like what's gonna change on this channel. I think I've kind of got a good pace, kind of doing what I want, not giving myself too much pressure, but like trying to post on Wednesdays. Probably you're not gonna see too much of a change there with my channel. You know, I started 2019 with less than 50 followers, and now I've got 400 of you watching it. I'm really grateful to all of you who decided not just to like take a chance on my channel, but to stick around and to keep watching my videos. So if there's something like you like about my channel that you want to see more of, definitely let me know, because I'm happy to like cater to your needs. Since you're here, I might as well do what you want, right? But no, it's gonna be the videos I feel like posting when I feel like posting them, and we'll see what that means for 2020 when we get there. So good luck to all of us. Happy 2020. Bye. Oh, and this is going to be the year of the rat, which as far as I'm seeing from everything I've been looking up so far, doesn't mean good things for horses, and I am a horse. So apparently I need to watch out for my health. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, bye.